Hello everybody, welcome back to Planet X News. This is Scott from the Nibiru channel, October 15th, 2017. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I woke up early this morning and I had a ton of emails coming in, and they were full of photographs coming from stereo imaging, and they were showing me, or trying to show me, a spherical object coming around the sun, and then on the H1 camera showing me this big cluster of stars. And so many of the people were telling me that the pictures were being shown on some of the other Nibiru Facebook pages and so forth, and it was being stated that this star cluster was the Nibiru planetary system, or the Nemesis planetary system. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just to clarify everything, and I thought I would just go ahead and make this video so I could answer everyone's questions, because it seems as of lately, these photographs and pictures, they seem to fly all around social media very, very quickly. I just wanted to clarify it so people aren't kind of misdirected into the wrong way. So I quickly identified the star cluster and the planet that was coming around the sun. Getting into this star cluster, what you're actually seeing, and I'll show you the photographs from the H1 camera on the stereo. But we are looking at Aldebaran. And Aldebaran is a massive, massive star. And it's located in the constellation of Taurus. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to use solar system scope, the Nemesis solar system, as you would say, would definitely not appear in solar system scope, because it really wouldn't be an identifiable constellation, or it just wouldn't be there, is what I'm trying to say. This is the information you're looking at here now is from Earth Sky. And this was an article that was written back in December 29th, 2016. And they're talking about Aldebaran. And you can see how massive this star is. It is absolutely massive compared to our sun. And I thought this would be a good idea to show all of you this, just to simply prove that yes, there are objects out there, stars and probably planets, that are just absolutely massive. We haven't discovered a lot of them. We may never discover everything in our galaxy or our universe. And once again, everything in space, everything is always in constant motion. So I can see where people would take advantage of seeing this cluster, part of the constellation of Taurus, and kind of passing it off as, hey, look, there's the Nemesis system. Well, I took a look at it, and I don't want anybody to be misled and, just pass the information on as being the Nibiru system or the Planet X system, because I try to do my homework. I try to do my investigations as thorough as possible. And as of lately, I've been getting at least 1,000 emails a day. And I'll be quite honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not ignoring any of your emails. It's just very, very hard for me to answer each individual email. On top of all of that, I probably get about 500 inbox messages on the Planet X News Facebook page, and, several hundred inbox messages on my own personal Facebook page. So, I could probably use a team of people just to, answer these emails, but, I rather do it myself because I know exactly what I'm looking at. So let's go ahead and I'll show you the photographs that were sent in, and I'll show you what I found out here. Now this was the, so let me open this up a little bit here, get rid of this little dark spot here. This was the stereo ahead core 2 image that was sent in to me. And if you look right over here, yes, you do see a spherical body moving away from the sun, and that is Mercury. That is Mercury making its 88-day orbit around the sun. So we just wanted to go ahead and clarify that. So I'm going to go ahead and just move on to some of these other photographs that I have for you guys. This was a little bit of a blown up version of it. I was trying to get the photograph clear for you, but it's really, really hard on the stereo imaging, especially when there is a lot of solar activity, as you see up here. CMEs have been ripping off of the sun over the past 5 to 7 days. When these coronal mass ejections occur, it interferes with the detector devices on the stereo spacecraft, and you get very, very high pixelated images. So this was the other images, the other image that was sent to me, and I must have received, I don't even know how many emails had this photograph in it. And yeah, it definitely does look odd. It definitely does look like some type of a cluster, some type of a system. And this was on the stereo ahead H1, and this was all in the same time frame as October 12th, I think it was, just a few days ago. So this is actually in the constellation of Taurus. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, we're going to go back to Mercury. This was just a black and white, just again trying to identify that was definitely Mercury. Going back to this star cluster, again from stereo head H1, I placed it into a negative view so you could get a better view of it, and it does definitely look strange. You definitely can see a lot of stars back there. Some would say, oh, those are planets, but in actuality, folks, that is part of Aldebaran. And here is just an inverted view of what was sent to me. And again, you know, anybody can pick out and say, oh, look at this cross pattern, and this is the Nemesis system. And I just don't want you people falling prey to, you know, let's just say disinformation. So here is a photograph from Solar System Scope, and the planets are not in realistic size. These are just in blown up size, so you can see them a little better. So from the perspective of the stereo spacecraft, this is basically what you would be looking at. Now, this is actually for today. Mercury would not have moved that much further in 3 days. But as you can see, here's our sun, here's our Earth. This is the camera direction of the stereo core 2 image. Go right back to it real quick. There you go. There's Mercury. We'll click forward. There's Mercury. Now, getting back to Aldebaran, this is the same solar system scope. This time I used the real sizes of the sun and the Earth. These are all real-time sizes of the planets, just to get them out of the way. If you look up here, that would be the view that the stereo H1 would have, and here you have it. Here's Aldebaran up here. Here's the cluster of other stars and objects that are in the constellation of Taurus. Now here was the stereo ahead H1 image that was sent to me, and we'll just go ahead and wait for this bottom part to move out of the screen. This was October 12th, time 13/29/01, 2017, and here is the cluster right there. and that cluster belongs to Aldebaran. And it is a massive, massive, very, very old star. And as I showed you in the previous photograph, it is much, much more massive than our sun. It makes our sun look like just a little dot in the sky. And you can, when Aldebaran is in the right place and the Earth is in the right place, with a really good telescope, you could get a pretty good view of this cluster. But no, ladies and gentlemen, if you see these photographs floating around or anybody's trying to pass them off as, hey, look, I got the Nibiru system here. Folks, they're not going to let you see that. I mean, they're just not going to let you see that. They're going to scrub that information and those images ASAP. They're going to be removed. Now, a lot of the finds and a lot of the captures that I find on the LASCO coronagraphs and the stereo imaging, these have to be things that they are missing because they're probably in a hurry to go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of images very quickly to make sure that there's nothing there that we should see. But it does take me a lot of time to go over all of those pictures, all of those still photographs, all of the video, and look for their mistakes. And quite frequently, as all of you know, I come up with and I find objects that just absolutely should not be there, including the Solar Dynamics Observatory, the SDO. And now, over the past couple of days, I think that NASA has blocked me from the SDO site, because every time I click on my link, it tells me that my server is not secure, and it won't allow me in at all. So I've made some pretty big discoveries off of the Solar Dynamics Observatory, the SDO, and they probably blocked me. They've done it before, and I've gotten around it. Back when Dr. Albers was still living in South Africa, NASA blocked her IP address from all of their sites. And this is going back, I would say back in March and April of this year. And yeah, they will block you. They have access to your IP address. All of those websites, they record the cookie information. And I guess if you're making problems for them, they can just block your IP address. So as of right now, I'm kind of blocked from the Solar Dynamics Observatory, but I will get around it sometime today. No doubt about it. And once again, this is just a photograph that you saw from the article that I showed you. And this is Aldebaran, this big, massive star, and giving you a comparison of Aldebaran to our sun, as in size. And you can see this would almost be like this is our sun, and this is maybe like Venus. But you can see the size difference between the two. So it was pretty interesting. I mean, I haven't looked at this star cluster for a long, long time, but I have seen it before on Solar System Scope. I have seen it before in the sky. And when you're looking at Orion's belt, if you look just like the arrow is showing you, if you look directly at a diagonal to about the 1 o'clock position, you will see Aldebaran. You can't miss it. It is very, very bright in the sky. And without all of the other background stars, you will definitely see that cluster that Aldebaran is in. So I thought I'd bring you that little bit of information. And it was quite interesting. And yes, the search still continues. But I just wanted to make sure that you folks are looking at the right thing. And I wanted to make this video quickly so I could answer, probably about 400 or 500 emails showing me the same types of pictures and photographs. And I appreciate all of the information being sent in because, you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. This is true investigation. This is true research. This is what we're supposed to be doing. So if there is something out there that is unidentifiable, then we have to key in on it. But in this case, this is the star cluster that is in the constellation of Taurus. And I believe they refer to it as the fiery eye of the bull. And we all know the constellation of Taurus is the bull. And apparently already people are passing this off as some bull, some BS. So I just thought that I'd bring this information to you real quick on this Sunday morning. Pass it around. If you see the photographs being passed off as the Nibiru system, let everybody know that you know the correct bit of information. This is Scott from Planet X News. Thank you for watching.